Am I the a-hole for not buying my stepdaughter a new car after she has repeatedly gotten into accidents? My stepdaughter is not a good driver. She was not a good driver when she was a teenager and certainly not as an adult. When she was first learning to drive, she would brake hard and quickly, and she repeatedly left her car lights on or left her car unlocked. When she first got her driving permit at 16, we gave her 2 rules. We would help buy her first car, but she would be responsible for car insurance, gas, and upkeep. If she wanted a car, she needed to be the sole caretaker of it and ensure she was taking good care of it. Her brothers had the same rules. 3 months into being 17, she got into her first accident. It was her first time driving on ice, and she slid. Her car hit another car. It was not a serious accident, but it caused roughly $1,000 in damages. Her car drove for another 2 months, but eventually, the transmission went out. She bought it at approximately 160,000 miles, so none of us were surprised it did not last very long. When she was 19, she was in another car accident. While on the highway, a semi-truck tried to merge while riding next to her. She sped up, and during that, another car tried to merge right as she sped up. The car was totaled. Outside of whiplash and minor wrist injuries, she was okay. Because of this accident, we made her get her own insurance because our payment went up. 3 weeks ago, she was involved in another accident. Again, on the highway, she was passing an on-ramp, and a car coming on hydroplaned and lost control of a ladder in the back of its pickup truck. It again totaled her car. It could not leave the scene, and we had to get her to bring her back to her college. The other driver broke his collarbone, and she has whiplash, a shoulder injury, and some facial damage that should heal in time. The police officer told her it was not her fault, but obviously, we have to wait for the insurance to make that call. Once she got home from the emergency room, she asked us to help her purchase a new car. She said that it is not practical for her to constantly walk everywhere until she can afford a new car. She makes $21 an hour as a certified medical assistant at a nursing home, so it will not take her long to buy a cheap car. From her apartment, she is about 1.5 miles from college, 0.25 miles from a grocery store, and 4 miles from her job. I think for the time being, she can walk, ask for rides from friends, or use an app. We do not have public transportation, but there are lots of sidewalks. She can walk the entire distance from her apartment to class, most of the way to a store, and on and off to her job. My husband wants us to purchase a new car and have her pay us back. I do not think this is the right move. To date, the only time we have ever helped buy a car is when they all started driving, and we only paid half. She only saved $2,000 for her first car, so we only gave $4,000 for a new car. One of her brothers saved up $10,000, so we gave $10,000. If we start doing this now, we will embark on a very expensive journey. I have gotten mixed reactions from others. Thoughts, am I the a-hole? If her last accident was not her fault, then the other driver's insurance should cover the value of her car at the time of her accident. Let that be her down payment, and she can make payments from her salary. Alternatively, you can lend her the money as long as you believe she will repay you. Am I the a-hole for how I explained to my sister-in-law that she would not be my son's godmother? My wife and I are not practicing Catholics in the strict sense, but we do follow certain traditions, such as christening ceremonies for our children. Some people choose a married couple to be godparents. When I was a baby, my parents chose my uncle and his then-wife, but they divorced when I was still a child, and I lost all contact with my former aunt, basically growing up without a godmother. So my wife and I always thought it was best to choose one of our relatives from each side of the family. For our second son, I chose my brother as godfather, and my wife chose a cousin of hers as godmother. When I called my brother to invite him, he assumed I was asking both him and his wife, and there was this awkward moment when I had to explain that my sister-in-law would not be the godmother. He seemed fine with it, but my sister-in-law did not attend the ceremony, and my brother later told me she was a bit upset. So I called her later that day just to clear the air and explained our reasoning, including my own personal history with my uncle's divorce. Then she got really upset, as if I was implying I believed she and my brother would get divorced in the future, which was not my point at all. She also mentioned that just as couples might get divorced, anyone can also lose touch with a blood relative, which is objectively true. But again, it was not the point we were making. I am sad that what was supposed to be a happy family moment is now somehow tainted. I think the explanation that you and your wife both wanted to invite someone from each side of your families would suffice without the divorce example. However, ultimately your sister-in-law is the a-hole for even requiring an explanation and being upset about this in the first place. I mean, skipping a nephew's christening, and when your husband is the godfather, is very petty in my book. She made it all about herself. Not the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for not changing my birthday plans just because my friend got dumped? So I, 21-year-old female, just had my birthday last weekend and made a reservation at this rooftop sushi spot that is really hard to get into. The whole vibe was planned. Outfit, nails, girls, night, Instagram pictures ready. It was supposed to be the night. 2 days before, my friend Lena, also 21-year-old female, got dumped. Like she was ugly, crying, blocking him on everything, texting him again 2 hours later, a full meltdown. I felt bad for her. I brought over snacks, sat with her while she spiraled, and did the whole supportive best friend thing. Then she hits me with, "Can we not do the dinner? It feels too fancy and romantic. Can we just go to that random bar where he never shows up?" Girl, it is my birthday. I told her I am still going. She does not have to come, but I am not canceling the whole thing because her man left. She said, "Wow, it is just dinner." She did not show. A couple of other friends came, but it was giving awkward energy, and now the group chat is on thin ice. She posted one of those fake friends are real quiet when you need them stories on Instagram like it was not obvious. Now I feel bad, but what was I supposed to do? Cancel my own birthday plans because her man messed up? I do not know. Am I the a-hole for sticking to my plans even though she was going through it? Not the a-hole. I am pretty direct, so I would message her outright. I cannot help but sense your post is about me. I came to your house with the full friendship support and sat with you while you cried. That is what real friends do. If you were not feeling up to coming to my birthday, you did not have to. But expecting me to cancel my entire event for you is not reasonable or fair. Breakups are hard, especially the first ones, so I can deal with a little bit of being unreasonable. What I will not do is be your punching bag while you work out your hurt feelings. You are not the first, nor the last person to experience a breakup. The world is going to continue on, whether you want to engage with it or not. I am a real friend. I am also a real person. I am allowed to celebrate meaningful moments in my own life, just like you are allowed to mourn meaningful moments in yours. If you need me, I am here. If you do not want me, I will not force you. I feel like this is something a lot of girls go through. Your early breakups genuinely feel like the end of the world, and you spin out and get resentful when everyone does not drop everything and stop time for you to experience the tragedy. Most of us can recall an experience where someone close to us, shout out to Mom and Amelia, basically told us to get it together. You are not special. And we are not. At least, not any more than anyone else is. We are humans, having parallel human experiences. This is even true for people mourning an actual death. Expecting support is okay. Expecting others to make your tragedy their entire life is not coping. If she demonstrates healthy growth over the next few months, she will likely regret posting that. Passive-aggressive things like that, especially when everyone knows you have just had a breakup, are incredibly awkward. She will definitely regret messaging him directly afterward. When all of this behavior she is using to desperately find some semblance of control of the situation does not actually earn her the boyfriend back or the sort of attention she is after, she will likely wise up. This is more behavior I am used to seeing in 14, 17-year-olds. But it is more understandable if it is her first real breakup of a relationship that she felt was going somewhere. As for your friends, I would at most just thank them for coming to your birthday, because they did choose to do that. Tell them you have reached out to your other friend privately, and express your hope that everything can just work itself out. Would I be the a-hole for excluding a family with a badly behaved, autistic child from the neighborhood pool party? I host a monthly pool party and barbecue for the neighborhood families. I buy about $200 in steaks, hot dogs, and drinks, book the community party room, and send out invitations and reminders. It has become a great way for the adults to connect and catch up, while the kids swim and play. One of the neighborhood boys does not behave appropriately. For example, he splashes kids in the face when they ask him not to, pushes kids into the pool, calls them names, growls at kids if they win a game, does not follow the rules of games and similar actions. It is unpleasant for the other kids, and he makes the younger ones cry. His mom yells and threatens to take him home, but she does not follow through, so he continues misbehaving. I am not well informed on autism. However, my stance is that the parents are responsible for ensuring their kids behave appropriately or removing them. Instead, other parents have to get involved to tell the kid to leave theirs alone or comfort their crying child. After the last party, 2 of the kids asked me not to invite that boy again because he ruined the day for them. I agree with them and believe that as part of my responsibility of hosting is to create a guest list of people who add positively to the event. My husband disagrees because, firstly, he thinks I should first bring up the issue to the boy's parents and give him one more chance. Secondly, we cannot actually exclude them since it is a community pool. And thirdly, he is just conflict avoidant and does not want to ruin relations with neighbors. What do you think? Would I be the a-hole? Update. Thank you all for the advice. I decided to speak with the parents and tell them that I am in a difficult position as the event host who wants to ensure my guests' safety and enjoyment. I will explain the impact on my guests when the mom did not remove the misbehaving boy, and that I am now hesitant to host another event. I will listen to their response, hopefully apologetic and proactive, and go from there. For those of you debating whether I can or cannot ban the family from the community pool, that is not the point here. My question was about the etiquette around not inviting someone to a recurring event. I am, unfortunately, very familiar with having to take care of other people's out-of-control kids in order to protect my own. It is frustrating, mostly because I am not getting paid to watch your child in public just because you decided to take your child to a children's museum with no intention of interacting with them. End of rant. This one child is not only putting other children in real danger. A pool is not the place for roughhousing and bullying, but he is ruining the day for the parents too. In my opinion, it is time for his mom to learn that if she cannot behave appropriately in public, then she is not invited. Her child is an extension of her and her responsibility. You are not ostracizing a child. You are setting boundaries with his mom, not the a-hole.